There it is. My boy Stark stepping up. I seen this in the PV and I was like, oh my gosh, Stark, my boy, protecting his girl. And sure enough, here's the episode. The moment I seen that priest walk out, I'm like, I think that's the same person. I think this is going to be that demon that attacks Fern, and then Stark steps up and protects her. And sure enough, it is. Now, it was interesting to look at the manga alongside this episode. That was anime original. In the actual manga, like, literally the sword demon takes one slice, and then Frieren goes up in the air and just nukes him. Like, it was that quick. I mean, you do get a sense watching this episode of, like, okay, why is this fight dragging out so long when Frieren's there? Because I thought, based on the PV, I'm like, Frieren's not there, and it's just Stark and Fern. But no, Frieren's here. Why is this battle going so long this thing can get an attack at Fern? Okay, so it was extended for the anime. Again, another one of those cases where I'm like, I hope that the author gave them permission for a lot of changes they're doing here, because similar to last episode, there's a lot more emphasis in the anime about how Stark is protecting Fern. Again, last episode, that whole shot of showing Fern's perspective as they were running away from the frog at the very end of the episode, that was anime original. Her reflecting back on that, being afraid and grabbing the bracelet, that was all anime original. And now in this episode, you have this little additional scene where Stark is, protecting Fern from this attack that, gets through her shield. Which, again, implies the idea of this sword demon being able to pierce Fern's barrier. Again, it's like one of those little... We're talking about things that sort of change the dynamics of the spells and what Fern's capable of doing. I hope that's permissioned by the author themselves. But again, it's putting so much emphasis on how much Stark is protecting Fern, and how much she's acknowledging that, how much, he means to her safety and everything like that. It's good stuff. Again, I was like, yes, my Stark boy, my boy. Good job, boy. That's my boy. Taking care of Fern. It's such good stuff. But anyways, episode 30 of Frieren, really great episode. I think the beginning half and the second half for different reasons. The first half, obviously, around this hero of the South. I do hope that we get more of this character. And it seems to imply that we could, based on the fact that it shows that he did technically confront all these demons. And I wonder if we might, possibly this last remaining demon, from their perspective, get a little more information. But I mean, it could be just like, Himmel. The fact that they're going to be going this travel. Eventually, they'll probably run into something else or somebody else that knew the hero of the South. And we can get a little bit more stories about him, because dude's really cool. I got like Expedition 33 moment there. Like, for those who come after. That little moment of him saying, I'm going to clear the path. Despite the fact that he knows he's going to die. This guy's like the ultimate hero. This is literally like the hero. It's not just a hero that is somebody that is willing to put their life on the line to protect people. More so a hero that is doing it knowing they're going to die. Knowing they're going to die. Yeah, heroes go out there risking their life, and they know that there's a chance that they're going to die. But to do it when you know you will die, 100% you're going to die, that takes courage. That takes a massive amount of courage. But anyways, let's get the episode proper, opening up the episode with, Frieren and the rest of them confronting this old man about cleaning a statue. Like the fact that she's like, what are you going to pay? Well, I have a scroll or a spell that will be able to scratch those itches on your back. Yes. It's like two old people. It's like such an old people thing. Like these two old people, Granny and Grandpa, they're like, yes, that's a very important spell. Now, granted, from Frieren's perspective, obviously, again, her goofiness and the fact that in a lot of cases, she just wants more spells. It sounds interesting. Like at the very end of the episode, it changed an apple into another apple. Okay, cool. Anyways, yes, they go to take care of the statue, and that's when we have Stark point out the fact that he's never seen this individual, and we find out about the hero of the South himself. Really cool to get this little puppet show, display of what happened there. I did see the behind-the-scenes stuff where the production team actually did put together, like, actual puppets. They made the puppets, and then they recorded the puppets, and they did, basically rotoscoped it. They drew over the frames that they produced from the puppet itself, so get that kind of look there. It was really cool. A little interesting dynamic way they end up doing the portrayal of that. But anyways, the actual story itself. Interesting thing here, I think that stood out the most, and I'm not sure if they've mentioned this before, but the fact that there was 2 remaining. I knew that there was potentially more than just Ara, but yes, there was essentially 7 total, sages of destruction, these demons, and 2 of them ran away and disappeared. One of them being Ara. So they took care of one of those. And again, there's potentially going to be another one that we could see at some point they're going to run into. Be curious if Frieren even has an issue taking them down, or now that she has Stark and Fern with her, if that'd be a problem. But yeah, outside of that, though, Himmel and the hero's party, they only defeated 2 of them. But the hero of the South, this guy was like one of the greatest of humankind. And that wasn't like a, a loosely used term there, because even Frieren herself says it's deserved because he killed 3 of those demons, took out 3 of those demons by himself, seemingly by himself. It didn't imply that he had a party or anything like that. It did show that he did go to Frieren at some point to see if he can recruit her, even though he knew he wasn't going to pull it off. But yeah, this dude's epic. And yes, it shows why in the fact that he's actually able to see into the future, that he told Frieren that he had the capability of seeing in the future. And the one that took him down was one of those demons, which is Schlacht, and he had the ability to see 1,000 years in the future. There's a side of me that almost wonders if that was like a battle of attrition at that point, which again sort of implies that Aura, they have like their ability, this unique thing that they as a demon learn, and they get like obsessed with that. And I kind of wonder if this guy just relied too heavily on the ability to see forward, and the hero South was like, okay, yeah, I can see that as well, but I have these other things that I can do as well. And that's how he could have ultimately overcome him, but in the end, they just killed each other. It does kind of make you wonder if the 2 of them seen their future and it was just that they're going to die together, and they went along with it. Demon doing it because of the pride of the ability they have to, see it through, that it's not going to be flawed in some way. Whereas the hero of the South does it because he knows that that's his fate. That's what he's supposed to do for the sake of Himmel and his party. He knows that by doing this, he opens a pathway for Himmel to succeed. He knows full well that in order for this future that he sees to happen, you have to go through with it. Yeah, and then wrapping up the story itself, they mention the fact that many people here, of course, because he liberated them, they really do appreciate him. They still, they made the statue for him. They still call out to him. And yes, additionally, many people believe that since his body was never found, that he potentially is still fighting Schlacht to this day. She's like, no, demons like to eat flesh, and so they probably consumed his body, which, interestingly enough, in the second half of this story, of this episode, we get to see that sort of brought up again. But no, this one we get the little flashback of the hero of the South going to Frieren, and immediately she declines him, says that she can't defeat the Demon Lord. I'm kind of wondering if she says that based on the fact that, yes, she was technically training herself at this point, and it does sort of give a little bit of a hint of a feeling that the reason why Frieren eventually does join Himmel is because of the hero of the South. That because he said that to her, that he said that she was going to join him and that he will change her life, that's why she eventually does join Himmel. Interesting? I don't know. But yeah, he mentioned the fact that he's able to see in the future, and that he knows that Frieren's not going to tell anybody. I guess he used the ability to look in the future to know that she never tells anybody. I don't know the extent of how this actual magic works. It was interesting that he does admit that it was a magic, that it's a magic that he has, which I'm surprised that Frieren's like, hey, can you tell me where that grimoire is so I can learn it too? But then, yes, says that a young hero come to visit you. I hate to admit it, but he's the one that will save the world, not me. You'll travel with the man, defeat the demon kind. You'll see in time, he will change your life. And yeah, that of course all ends up being true. But the cool part, and I love how they kind of add a little bit more with the anime adaptation here, because in the manga, he basically just says, yeah, make sure to tell him I'm going to clear a path for you. Even if I'm not going to be in the history books, I'm going to do that. And he walks away. In the anime, it shows that shot where it jumps over to Himmel and Frieren is telling Himmel, and it has that little moment where Himmel is looking down and then he kind of glances up. Kind of gives a little inspiration there. The idea that somebody will go before me and is going to sacrifice themselves for the sake of me being able to do what I do. So it kind of turns into a little bit of an encouragement there. But the part that really got me was that addition of having, the hero of the South, and he is stabbing the demon, and it just says, I'll clear a path for you. I'm like, damn. It actually got me a little emotional. Like, this dude, again, he knew he was going to die. And like a true hero, most heroes will put their life on the line, but a true hero will do it even if they know for a fact that they're going to die. He went there knowing he will die because he knew that Himmel needed that path opened so that he can do it. He sacrificed himself for all those people, for all of humankind. Again, the true hero. Like, I can't even give Himmel that title anymore. Like, literally, the hero of the South is the true hero. He's just so freaking badass. And again, kind of got a little Expedition 33 moment there. For those who come after, I will clear the path for you. Super good, super good. I love also in the anime, they kind of added a little bit of a Stark playing with the kids. Again, I know I'm getting stupid with this, but it's like everything that's anime original, most all of it is around the idea of Stark protecting Fern and Fern acknowledging how great Stark is. And now here we have Papa Stark running around with a little outfit on, playing with the kids as a demon. It was like, okay, that's super cute. Unfortunately, Fern not even acknowledging it. She's just kind of focused on this stuff over here. But anyways, that goes to the second part of the story, which is, yes, the sword demon, which we open up with them going to this big city. Been the first big city they've seen in a long time, and Frieren wants to have nothing to do with anything there. Just wants to get there, get what they need, and get out. It's like, you always know it's sus whenever Frieren's like, we don't have time. Time is precious. We can't just dawdle around. No, our funds are limited. We have to make sure that we, pinch our pennies. We need to get our stuff and get out of here. And then sure enough, everybody's like, what is she doing? This isn't Frieren. Typically, she wants to stay here for a couple months. And Fern just got that little look like, And then sure enough, yes, some guy comes to get them. Damn it, we didn't make it out in time. Yes, when we meet Graf Doch. I think it's Josh. Apparently is part of this family that the great-grandfather of that family at some point lost their great heirloom, this sword, to a demon. And apparently Himmel and his party had to go out and get the sword back. And now they've lost it again. They do imply later on that the demons come after it on a regular basis, and they've failed several times. This is the second time it's actually been stolen. So it does imply this thing is important somehow. It was wielded by some demon, and it seems like it's precious to demons for some specific reason. Now again, it is anime original, but I did kind of wonder at the time of watching the episode if potentially it was the fact that it could break barriers. It had the potential to break barriers. But again, now knowing based on the manga that is not like what was originally in there, I don't know anymore. Like, I just give the assumption there that it has some potential within it that makes it strong. Now, it could be the idea that this demon was very powerful back here, used the sword, and thus all the demons desire that power because they don't know that it's not the sword that did it. It was just the demon itself. But either way, this thing apparently has something within it that even Frieren herself doesn't even know what it is, that the demons can see that's within it that they want, that they desire. But yeah, she doesn't like this guy so much because the great-grandfather threatened to throw them in jail in the dungeon if they didn't help them find this sword. such a dirtbag. They're very pushy. This guy seemed nice though. He's like, yeah, I'll give you a grimoire if you help me out. It turns apples into other apples. It changes the color and the flavor of an apple into a green apple. Yeah, they travel around for a little bit. They end up coming across a village that's been destroyed, and a lonely priest comes out. And yeah, like I said, I seen the PV, and I'm like, I kind of think it's the same hair color and the same length. We'll see. Frieden's not doing anything yet. Like, she's not like aggressive, so I don't know this is gonna be a demon. But yeah, this priest claims that she came across the village and buried everybody, and was offering a prayer to them, and asked if they wanted to offer prayer as well. And then Frieren just blasts, and finds there's no bodies in the actual graves themselves, before mentioning the idea that there wouldn't be any bodies because the demon attacked them. Yeah, gets a little bit into sort of what they've, got into quite a bit in the first season, the idea that the demons themselves, you can't really reason with them. And with this particular one, getting into the idea of how the demons themselves crave the flesh of humans. Interesting that Frieren mentions the idea that demons can eat anything. I mean, that makes sense because these demons have been living up here for so long. You would think they would starve after some while if there's not enough humans up there for them to consume. The demons themselves can eat anything to survive. They just choose humans. I would assume because they're just tastier or something. I don't know. The reaction from the sword demon is simply the idea that I had to kill them to survive. Well, you can eat anything to survive. Well, why wouldn't I eat humans? Like, what logic is that? The sword demon doesn't even understand. If I can eat anything, okay, I'll eat the humans. What's the difference here? It doesn't make any sense to them. Frieren, once again, proving that these things can't be reasoned with. They don't see a logic. There's no logical flaw there because their instinct is basically just to consume the humans. And yes, we also see another case here where, what is the demon doing? The demon's literally using the aspect of a priest traveling around, offering prayers to trick people and travelers into, lowering their guard and praying for something before they strike them down. Again, utilizing human traits and human, activities to kill people. But yeah, this whole sequence was amazing. Once again, similar to like the last episode, that whole little segment there with the, the flame breath from the dragon and having, Himmel doing the dodging and looping underneath the flames itself. They kind of did the same thing with a sword demon, kind of ducking underneath the blast from Fern and everything was super cool. And again, absolutely love that little shot where the sword demon comes in towards Fern. She's blocking it, breaks through the barrier. Stark just comes in there, deflects the sword. This is what Frontliner's for. Oh, yeah, my boy. It's my boy. And then, yes, Frieren from above just decimates him, nukes him. Which, again, in the manga, that's literally all it took, was just Frieren goes up in the air and nukes. It was a cool fight, though. Really cool fight. But yeah, after that, we get the little shot of Himmel and the rest of them after they defeated the last demon that stole the sword, and mentioned the idea that they had the ability to, take out another demon, and that's going to help people. Very interesting. I mean, I would assume that this is, well, since they're like further up north, this would be after, of course, the moment where they had a demon literally trick an entire village, and Himmel defended them, and the demon killed it. It kind of makes me think that this is a Himmel that now reflects on that you can't really reason with these demons. Gives it more of a perspective of Himmel being a lot more for the idea of, good, we got a chance to kill another demon. He's no longer going to be tricked by these things. I kind of wonder. But after it cuts back, we get another anime original little shot here, and that's Fern asking Frieren why she, got angry all of a sudden. Because this demon, asked them to offer a prayer, and Fern was going to go pray, it set off Frieren to attack. Not really anything significant being added here, other than the fact that it's Frieren kind of pointing out the idea of what these demons will do to sort of trick you. Also kind of gives a little bit more, solemnness, I guess, to the act of prayer. The fact that you would be doing this, you don't want to lower your guard like that. Then the wrap up the episode with them returning the sword, and then getting in a little bit into the idea of, demon desires, human desires, and technically at the very end, Frieren desires for stupid spells. I actually got a kick out of that. I didn't realize it until I looked at my notes after I finished the episode. I'm like, that's true. I technically just point out the fact that Frieren herself, in the very end, has these desires, and she just cannot give up those desires. But yes, the idea here is that, several times these demons have gone after the sword itself. This is the second time it's been stolen, and apparently the last time, the demon actually talked a human into helping them get in there to steal a sword. And so it sort of parallels the idea that the demons themselves, once they get some sort of power, they always have the desire to show it off. They can't help it. They always have to do it. And again, I think that was sort of emphasized with Ada herself. She had this capability, and so she always wanted to flaunt it. These demons, they will have one unique trait about themselves, one unique ability or spell, and they have to use it all the time. They're always stuck using that same thing because they want to show it off. Frieren right here is sort of pointing out that humans have the same thing. They have this problem with desires. And as long as they have those desires, the demons themselves will exploit that. And so I guess it kind of gets in the idea that, humans have the capability of sort of turning that off, and they should manage that and, keep it in check. Whereas demons themselves will never do that. And then we see at the very end, again, the joke here is that at the very end, Frieren has this desire for these stupid spells, and so she will always give in those desires, no matter how stupid the spell is. Again, womp, womp, womp at the very end there, little joke to put at the end there. I did like the idea of, Fern and Stark, if they give in their desires, that she'll be there to help them out, and if you give me a good reward, I'll help you out. If you give me a good grimoire. It was dorky. But yeah, like I said, overall, good episode. Looks like in the preview, it kind of mentioned the idea of hot spring. So maybe we'll get the hot spring episode next episode, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, really solid episode. Enjoyed as always. Hope you guys enjoyed my impressions, my thoughts on the episode overall. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content you want to support down more, become a member. Until next time, y'all take care.